Alright, in this lesson we'll describe how to modify the aesthetics of the plots or charts or graphs that Matplotlib creates for us. And of course the library offers a whole range of parameters that we can modify, but as I mentioned, I don't want to dive too much into Matplotlib, so I'm going to show you an easier way that we can render something that's more visually pleasing without diving into modifying all of the arguments for our parameters. I'll begin by executing our code to load our BlackBerry stock information from the Pandas data reader library, and I just want to show you the available templates that are available within the Matplotlib library. In order to get there, I want to reference PLT, which is referring to that PyPlot module within my Matplotlib library, and if I press tab here I can see the available options. I want to go to style here, and within there I want to place another dot. And after that, I want to navigate to this available thing. So what this does is this attribute basically returns to me the available templates that are available within the styles of my Matplotlib library. So when I execute this, it's just going to be a Python list, and these are all the templates that are available here. So I'm just going to showcase 3 during this lesson, but feel free to just follow the procedure that I'm introducing and replace it with any one of these templates, and just take a look at how the visuals are impacted. So as I mentioned, I'm going to begin just by doing something we did in the previous lesson, which is taking my data frame and plotting, let's say, the close column in there, and there we have my default Matplotlib rendering. So what I can do here before I execute this is enter this code, plt, which is again matplotlib, .style, which is once again the subdirectory, if you will, within this module. And then instead of going to available here, I want to go to use, which is a method, so it requires parentheses. And then within these double quotes, within the string that I pass as an argument, I can put any single one of these templates, and that's what it's going to be rendered as for the plot. Now keep in mind, whenever you use this plt.style.use method, it changes the settings for the entire notebook, not just the cell. So if you want to use different aesthetics across different cells, you have to keep using this plt.style.use code at the top of the cell to specify what template you want to use. So I'm just going to copy this code as soon as I use it to the cell below, just to kind of get into that flow of changing templates each time around. So let's begin with a template style here called 538. That's the popular poll aggregator. I believe it's now owned by ESPN. So when I execute this, it's going to read this line of code, switch to that template, 538, and then anything that's rendered will be using that style. So when I execute this, you'll see that the plot will change. The data is exactly the same. We can see the index is still the dates. The y-axis is still the numbers, but you can see it's a slightly different look. We've also added things like these gray cells or grids within the rendered plot. So I'm just going to copy this code right here and paste it below. And I'm just going to replace this with something else. So there is an option here called dark background, which gives it kind of I call it an 80s computer look. It basically looks a little bit like I don't know, nighttime stock information, but you can see again it's just a different visual look. This one has a black background. It still has that grid in the middle, and that central close data point is now in this light green or dark green color. So again, it's just another look. Whatever you prefer, whatever your project is calling for, you can play around. And it's not just the colors, by the way. It's the fonts, it's the font sizes, it's the legends. All of these things can be modified by a template. So a template just represents kind of a pre-built set of aesthetic options that you can utilize to avoid having to fiddle around with them yourself. So let's just show you one more option. This is a very popular one, and it's called ggplot. So this is a very popular template because it combines kind of a good aesthetic look with a little bit of a professional scientific look. So when I execute this, you'll see that it retains sort of the professionalism of a scientific chart, but it's certainly a lot more appealing than this one, or I guess we got rid of the original one, but it's a lot more appealing than the traditional Matplotlib chart with kind of a little bit more I'd say not popping and not making a super amazing impression. This one's a little bit more stylish, a little bit more modern, but yet it still has that grid. It kind of looks like something you'd see in, a New York Times article or something like that. So that's the ggplot aesthetic, and of course so far we've only dived into these plot charts, which are these line graphs, but as we introduce bar graphs and pie charts and all that kind of stuff, these templates will still apply. The same methodology holds. You just have to put this plt.style.use code at the top of the cell. Of course, if you want to maintain the same style, you only have to use it once. And within that method call, you feed in a string, and the string represents the template that you want to utilize. Of course, if you want to see a full list of those templates, they are available by executing plt.style.available. So that's how you modify the aesthetics of a rendered chart from Matplotlib.